큰 박수 부탁드립니다.
So, hi, my name is Victor Ching, and I'm co-founder at chinchin. And I'm really excited to tell you guys about chinchin today, because it's an app that many of you will be able to use and enjoy. If any of you or somebody you know is single, then this app's for you, because chinchin, we're a better way to meet new people. My co-founder and I met while we were starting Yogyo in Korea. I was the CTO there, and my co-founder was the first engineer. And today, Yogyo is quite successful with a couple hundred employees. But this is what the org chart looked like when there were only 10 of us. I'm the handsome cartoon over there in the corner. But at the bottom, you'll notice 3 young females. And all they would do all day long was talk about their love life. And one day, one of the designers comes up to me and says, Victor, I was browsing your Facebook and noticed you had a lot of cute friends. Can you introduce me to somebody? So I said, sure. So what we actually did was we looked at my Facebook friends list, and then we figured out somebody that I would be able to set her up on a date with. And it was really interesting that we used Facebook to get this done. In fact, 84% of people in their 20s are trying to meet new people via Facebook. But unfortunately, only 12% have been able to meet somebody new. It doesn't work because Facebook wasn't built for meeting new people. And that's where online dating services come in. Online dating is a $4 billion market worldwide, and you have huge players like Match.com, which generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, or Zoosk, which just recently filed for its IPO with its mobile dating app. But even though you have these huge players in this huge market, you still have people resorting to alternatives like Facebook, even though it doesn't work. And that's why we started chinchin. Chinchin is a social network that connects you to new people. And what we're truly doing is changing the paradigm of online dating from something that you use by yourself and are too embarrassed to tell anybody about it, to something that's fun and something you do with your friends. What we do is we take all the friends of friends we think you should know and ask you to secretly like or pass on them. Now, you don't have to worry about people knowing who you like because likes are secret. And if somebody you like happens to like you back, we make an introduction and you can message each other in the app. And you can trust the people you see on chinchin because everybody you see is connected to you by somebody you already know. And what happens when you get a lot of people liking you and your friends is you get a lot of interesting stories. And that's why we built the Stories tab, where we show you stories about when anybody likes you, your friend, or when somebody you know got connected on chinchin. And it's one of the most popular features of our app. People are starting conversations about these stories within our app, in KakaoTalk, or in offline face-to-face conversations. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of dating services out there. So what makes chinchin so good? Well, the competitors can be basically broken down into 2 different categories. You have the services like EM, which introduce you to 1 or 2 people a day, and the services like 1 Kilometer, which are location-based. But chinchin takes the best of both worlds. Our users tell us a dating service should do 3 things very well. First, it should be safe for women. And what that means is, if you're a woman using a dating service, you shouldn't have to worry about being bombarded by 50 messages a day, many filled with vulgar content. But with chinchin, you will never receive a message from someone you haven't already expressed interest in. Second, you want to be able to meet somebody quickly. But with the services that only show you 1 or 2 people a day, it could take a very long time to meet somebody. But with chinchin, you can see an unlimited amount of people every day. And last, a dating service should be trustworthy. And that's another area where chinchin shines, because everybody you see is connected to you by someone you know. We launched our beta for iOS 4 months ago, and 1 month ago, we launched our Android beta. And to date, we have over 5,000 downloads. We also just completed K-Startup's Accelerator program, and the response has been amazing. This is what one of our users had to say. I can't stop using this. This dating service is good because I can go directly to the mutual friend to ask. And here's another successful testimonial we saw on Facebook. Thanks to chinchin, I found match with Monica. So people are already meeting others via our app, and they're also telling their friends about it. On average, each member invites 4 friends to join chinchin, and they're sticking around for a long time as well. Flurry states that for online dating, the industry average is for 20% of a dating service's users to be active over 90 days. But with chinchin, 30% of our users are active past 90 days. Our retention is 50% higher than industry average. So we have an app that people love, people are telling their friends about it, and people are sticking around for a long time. So I guess the final question is, how are we going to make money? And the answer is, we are making money through out-of-app purchases. You might not know what out-of-app purchases are, and it's something we stumbled upon because we had beta users constantly telling us, I want to be able to see people I passed on all over again. So we asked, if you give us money, we can build it for you. And they said, sure. So he said, give us cash. And that's what they did. And we want to turn items like that and turn them into in-app purchases in the future. So we're Chinchin. If you like what I had to say, you should search for Chinchin on Google Play or App Store in either English or Hangul. We're localized for both languages. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, Jess?
Hi, Victor, thank you. Really enjoyed the presentation. What's the plan going forward? You're obviously getting started in Korea. It sounds like you have some traction. It sounds like you're interested in expanding this globally. How are you thinking about global expansion? Are there particular markets that you would like to focus first, or just spread it out?
Well, we tested it in LA, Seattle, as well as Korea. But right now, we want to focus on the Korean market. The reason is user acquisition is something that we have to execute very well. Because when you're dealing with introducing people to friends of friends, people need to have a friend registered on the service to get a good experience of it. So we do offer people without friends a way to meet new people. But really, the highest engagement marks come from those people who have existing friends already on the service. So we don't want to be addressing too many markets at one time. We want to focus on Korea first, get it done here, and then we want to think about other markets in the future.
How did you initially seed the market? Because as you said, you need that initial critical mass to get the community more active, right?
Yeah, I mean, I probably got about 200 of my own personal friends on board, and I just badgered them to get their friends on board. And then we have viral mechanisms within our app that encourages people to get their friends on board. Because it's an app that you benefit from with the more friends you have on the app. So we have various cues where you want to get people on board. So we have the inherent virality. So we just really have to seed them with a small group of users and then have them hopefully spread it to their friends from there.
One last question. So after, let's say, through Chinchin, there's been a connection made.
Yes.
Do you offer any additional services to facilitate further interaction? Like a couples app that provides recommendations, dating experiences, and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things we want to do. Right now, our team is just myself and my co-founder. So we're limited as to what we can do. But we definitely have a vision for where we want to take this in the future. And we want it to be, really truly connecting people, whether they're single or married or have a family. I think that's our vision going forward. But right now, we need to focus on where we're at right now.
Just to extend on what Jay just asked, do you have an overall plan of how you want to plan your user lifecycle management? So I get a girlfriend, right? Technically, I shouldn't be using that app anymore, right?
Yes.
Or should you?
So actually, the unique thing about Chinchin is you can be using the app because you have the Stories tab. So you might not necessarily be on there to try to meet somebody, but just to see what your friends are doing. So you might be interested in this friend getting likes, and we offer social mechanisms where you can talk to other people. Yeah. So we like to think of Chinchin as something that both single and taken people can use.
I mean, I'd extend on to the point where this is not the best connotation of usage, but if you're able to instill a strong element of voyeurism, because in many ways, Facebook is a very good balance of narcissism and voyeurism, right? That's why Facebook works in the end. In finality, if you're able to instill a strong sense of voyeurism onto the platform without being super creepy, I think that'll enable you to extend your user lifecycle management process so that people keep coming back to your app. You know, you still want to,
Yeah, that's definitely something we think a lot about, because when we started this, we thought the goal for a dating service is to actually get your users to not need your app as quick as possible. But we definitely think about how we can extend that user lifecycle.
Well, thanks, Victor, for your presentation. In the same vein, very similar vein, did you do any? Did you give any thought to the lifetime value of customer?
So we don't have an idea of where our lifetime value of the customer will come out to. We've been charging 5,000 won in cash for people to be able to see people they pass on again. But we want to implement in-app purchases very soon. And then from there, we'll be able to measure our ARPU and things like that. But right now, it'd be just a total guess.
Any hypothetical number in your mind?
I mean, I'd be hoping like it could come to like, you know, $5 would be very beneficial for our side. Maybe $10, maybe even higher. Yeah.
It's lifetime.
Okay.
Not coming back.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you for interesting, presentation. I really love it, and then, I wish I was single, but, unfortunately, I was not. So the, simple question is, you said that the story function is quite popular, right?
What's that?
The story function is quite popular.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. So let's assume I like that one girl, and then she liked me, and then start dating, and then eventually break up.
Yes.
But before breakup, we actually made a posting talking about our story. And can I erase it? Because I want to meet another lady, but if another lady saw my previous action, then that doesn't work. So
yeah. So basically, stories we make it fun by giving you little bits of information, but we keep people's privacy. So if you were matched with somebody within chinchin, and I were your friend, I would just see two of your friends or one of your friends got matched. So I wouldn't know which friend it was. But then what I could later on do is comment on that story. And if you decided to respond and say, I'm the match, then people will know that it was you that got the match. But we try to keep a little bit of anonymity there.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Thank you very much, chinchin. 네,
Thank you.
빅터에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.